Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session. Today, we will focus on the value-added services offered to business clients of Shepherd Insurance. Presenting today is Dennis Lazat, a partner at Shepherd Insurance. Dennis has been with Shepherd for over 5 years, and in his time here, he has greatly impacted our commercial lines department, where he leads the charge on building and maintaining relationships with the 200+ carriers that Shepherd represents. The recorded version of this webinar will be available following the completion of this session. You can look for a link to the recording and the slide deck for reference emailed to the email you registered with before the end of the work week. We'd love to hear from you, but we ask that you please hold all questions for our Q&A session toward the end of this presentation. However, the chat will be open and monitored throughout the entire webinar if you need clarification. For those of you just joining, welcome. Our presenter, Dennis Lazat, is here to speak on the value-added services offered to business clients of Shepherd Insurance. Dennis, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Mary Ashley, for that awesome introduction. Really appreciate that. So, as Mary Ashley said, we are here today to discuss and kind of give a brief overview on all of our value-added services, but then also take a deeper dive into our newer enhanced Platinum portal that is available to all of our clients free of service. So, excited to dive into some of that content. Before we do that, I just wanted to make a couple of comments as it relates to Shepherd as a whole and kind of what our outlook is on providing more than just insurance and being there for more than just insurance needs to our client base. And so that was a big purpose or a big reason behind why we have invested the funds that we have in order to provide some of these value-added services or bring some of these value-added services to our client base. So we understand that there are a lot of moving parts that go into a successfully ran organization. And our ultimate goal is to come alongside of you, partner together with you for more than just those insurance needs. And so we're excited to spend some time going over those today with you guys. Go to the next slide, Mary Ashley. Thank you. So on this slide represents a majority of the value-added services that you'll see as either a property and casualty and or employee benefit client of Shepherd Insurance. How do we bring those to you? Several examples below fall within those offerings. As mentioned before, we'll spend most of the time today going over the Platinum portal. However, there are numerous others that I think that is important for you to be aware of. Some of these include our concierge service program, our benchmarking capabilities, as well as access to our internal legal counsel for content review. I'm going to touch base on a few of these in particular. The first is our concierge services. So within our concierge service program, you'll have access to an HR hotline to speak with HR professionals regarding generic questions that are related to your industry and or specific inquiry. We also have access to legal consultative services through that, as well as a host of other either products and or services that are free or at discounted rates. Some of those include 10-hour construction safety certification courses, background check and drug testing services, employee handbook reviews and safety plan reviews, safety tailgate meeting content, as well as mod reviews, and much more. The benchmarking services that we provide, I really like this tool. It provides you a real-time peer industry feedback so that you know where you stack up against your peers as it relates to insurance coverage, insurance premiums, insurance deductible levels, etc. And so what we're able to do is we're able to provide this service with your industry, your revenue count, your employee count, your current policy premiums, current policy limits based off of different coverages that you have, as well as the deductibles that are built in within that. And they're able to give you and us a really good detailed report showing you where you stack up amongst your peers within your industry as it relates to all those items, as well as providing you with some real-time claims data or information or claim scenarios of those that are within your industry that have experience so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not you fall in line or fall outside of your peer group as it relates to limits, deductibles, coverages, premiums, etc., and whether or not it makes sense for you to make a change for any one of those items. ModMaster Forecasting, that's a really good, powerful tool for us as well. That allows us to determine how your current and future claims activity can affect your mod. Anybody that is familiar with workers' compensation insurance coverage and how mods do affect the premium significantly sometimes for your workers' compensation policy, that's a very good tool for us to kind of project what your mod will look like in the future based off of your current activity and claims, and then what that ultimately will do for your pricing. Some of the other things at the bottom that I wanted to touch on, which are additional services offered for those that are part of our employee benefits plan client base. Administrative services, ensuring that you have accountability from vendors involved in your benefits program. A custom plan design that fits the needs of your specific entity and your budget. Claims analysis, so that way you have an integrated claims data network analysis and renewal forecasting to keep you prepared for what your upcoming renewals will look like. And then being able to provide you with regular updates as it relates to legislation, so that you are in the know as to what the trending topics and changes are out there in the world. Before we get into the Platinum Portal, I wanted to just briefly touch on our process. I think that that's the largest differentiator for Shepherd Insurance. From our initial coverage gap analysis and review to our detailed claims analysis and review, all the way through until our 365 service timeline, we truly do want to understand your organization. We want to understand your needs, your desires, and some of your concerns that you may have in order to put the best program in place for you. So when I talk about the coverage gap analysis, what does that mean? Whenever we start to work on a case or a prospect or even digging into a renewal for our clients, the first thing we want to do is we want to identify all of the potential coverage gaps or areas of improvement there are with your current insurance plan. That may be implementing new coverages that you don't currently have, new policies that you don't currently have, improving terms and conditions from the policy, what your current policies do have. So whether there be some limitation as it relates to certain losses, etc. Increasing your deductibles from, or reducing your deductibles from, maybe you have a separate wind hail deductible that's applied currently and taking that to an all occurrence-based deductible. Maybe taking your current valuation for property coverage from actual cash value to replacement costs or agreed value. Blanketing coverages if you have multiple locations, or adding enhancement endorsements that are a slew of throw-in coverages as it relates to property or general liability. That a lot of those are things that you don't think about until the event of a loss. And so it's nice to have on there as a backstop in case that does happen. And I already mentioned reducing deductibles or maybe changing your deductible landscape. During the claims analysis, obviously the claims analysis is something that our underwriters do. So we want to have a good understanding as well as it relates to what your loss history looks like. Whether that be that there could be a severity claim on there that we need to get some additional information from you on, so that way we can portray that to the underwriters, or picking up on a frequency issue that we would help partner with you to help to alleviate or solve in the future. And that'll be talked about a little bit more in our Platinum service, our Platinum Portal service offering. Then we want to develop a risk management strategy that fits for you. We understand that not everything can be covered. We understand that everything comes with a cost. And so we want to know what your risk tolerance is, whether that be some of the risk transfer techniques that we have in place with traditional insurance, whether that be maybe potentially increasing your deductibles to see how that plays a role in premium savings. We want to understand what you need and what you want, so that way we know when we go to partner with our preferred carriers, what we need to communicate to them in order to put together the best solution for you as a client. And so when we partner with those preferred carriers, there's a lot of negotiation of terms and rates that go into that. And that can include acceptability of risk based off of class of business or industry or nature that you do. And so part of my job here at Shepherd is understanding which carriers those are that partner best with certain risks and classes of business. Because ultimately what we don't want to do is we don't want to place your insurance with a carrier for 1 year and then have to move it the next year. We want you to build equity with a carrier. And so what that means is that when you have a few years of insurance policies with a certain carrier, you are a little bit more forgiven for potential losses, rather than experiencing a loss and then being non-renewed and then having to shop. And once you are going out with your marketing efforts, in the event of a large loss or something along those lines, the pricing and the terms get a little bit more trickier to navigate. So that's part of our job, is to make sure that we put you with the carrier that you belong with on the front end, and that alleviates a lot of that headache on the back end in the event of some unfortunate events. We also discuss and negotiate various rates, limits, deductibles, coverages, etc. So as I mentioned in a couple of points before, maybe you guys would like to implement some coverages that you don't currently have. Is that something that a carrier is willing to do within the package policy? For instance, contractors' errors and omissions, or products liability for a manufacturer, or manufacturer's E&O. Depending upon the carrier, those items may have to be taken to a specialty carrier. And so in those situations, we can convey that to you as well. But we're trying to build the most robust program for you as it relates to what your risk management internally strategy is. Implementation of the program is the next step in the process. That's where we get everything in place, enroll our clients into the Platinum Portal, concierge programs, etc. And then we want to monitor and customize a service timeline that fits best for you. And so that's where we talk about our 365-day model. We're not here for you just to be a renewal, 90 days out, contact you for renewal updates, 60 days out, ask some more questions, 30 days out, provide a renewal quotation and bind coverage, and then you don't hear from us again for another until it's 90 days out from your next renewal. We want to be engaged with you throughout your policy period, your policy term, whether that be a quarterly contract and loss review with you, or contract reviews along the way as you enter into new contracts throughout the policy term. Check-ins to discuss any necessary updates to your policies that are needed. That could be an expansion of operations in either a new product line, service offering, or state, or exposure changes. Maybe you've had some increases in your payrolls, increases in your revenues. Those ultimately affect premium as it relates to your general liability workers' compensation policies. And so rather than being surprised by an additional premium audit at the end of your policy term, we'd rather increase those accordingly along the way so there isn't any surprises like that. We also want to make sure that your vehicle lists any changes in your vehicles, whether that be addition or subtraction of vehicles throughout the policy term. Equipment schedules, if you have equipment schedules, if you've bought a new piece of equipment, adding that, making sure that there's coverage for it just in case there's a loss to it. We don't want there to be any surprises along the way, and so we feel like having constant contact with our clients is the best way to help solve those. Okay, so the Shepherd Platinum Portal. This is what on the right-hand side of your screen you will see when you log into the Platinum Portal. Along the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see various icons. Those various icons will take you to the various tools that we'll go over today. On the right-hand side, you'll also see a few different things. You can make at the top right, an apps section, which is your frequently used apps that you can quickly navigate to. But then you also see an inbox and a smart content. Then inbox and smart content can be customized within your settings for your liking, with only those items that deal with maybe a specific topic or industry that you're in, as well as your location. And those locations are basically state breakouts for the United States and Canada. Being able to do that helps streamline the information that's provided to you. That way it's all relevant in nature. And as you'll see on the smart content, if you're a property and casualty client or benefits client or both, you can toggle between content related items that are specific in nature to those. So the first icon on the left-hand side of the screen on the landing page it's called Shared With You. That shared with you is something that we have the ability to share content with you as well. And so as you log in and start working with the various folks at Shepherd that are assigned to you to handle your account, they may periodically share some content with you, and that's where you'd find that. You can also search content as well. So our content library includes thousands of on-demand content related items. Those could be state-specific laws, articles, white papers, safety content, etc. And they're all easily navigated. So what we weren't able to fit on the screen on the previous slide was the icons on the right-hand side that you see here. And those would be located at the bottom of the landing page on the portal. And so this will take you to those specific topics as it relates to content related items. You can also search it through in the content library icon on the left-hand dashboards on the screen as well. And the great thing about it is that these specific content related items can be searched various ways, like I just had mentioned, but then also there is a keyword search function as well. So if you're looking for a specific related item, you can enter in that keyword search function and hopefully be directed directly to what you're looking for. You can also refine your searches by state, like I previously mentioned, industry, the type of format of the content that you're looking for, as well as via subcategories within the topics. So not only does this provide you with a quick reference or information seeking tool, but the nice thing about all of these items is that before they are published, they are attorney reviewed and verified for accuracy. And so that you have some peace of mind knowing that the things that you are obtaining from the content library are real-time, accurate, updated information. In addition, based upon your selection for the smart content and inbox, updates to the topics you choose will be sent or displayed through those various channels. The next tool within our Platinum portal relates to HR related services or operations or functions within your organization. As you can see, there's various tools that are available that I believe help assist our clients in their search, managing, and retaining of top talent in their industry. Some of these items are custom job description builders, in-person or telephone interview question builders, and an internal HR self-assessment tool, performance review builders, salary benchmarking tools. You can even have access to sample job descriptions, as well as a total compensation statement builder that encapsulates all of the benefits that you offer your employee. All of the tools, not only in the HR function, but also across the platform, I feel are very intuitive and easy to navigate, but we are always here to assist in the event that you need some assistance. The next powerful tool, I believe, is the HR hotline. So part of our Platinum portal does provide an HR hotline. And that'll assist you with everyday questions you just may not be sure about or want a second opinion in. Maybe you don't have a dedicated HR department within your organization. And so someone's wearing multiple hats or multiple job descriptions or multiple duties. And so maybe they're not able to spend the majority of the time like an HR professional would in keeping up with the current laws and requirements that relate to specific employment related questions. And so with the client portal, you have access to HR hotline for those needs. You can reach out various ways. As you can see on the screen, there's a My Questions section that'll show you previously answered questions. There's also an option for you to send a message to an HR professional. And what's not depicted on the screen is there's actually an HR hotline where you can pick up the phone and contact somebody and have a telephone conversation with an HR professional at your convenience. All of these professionals are knowledgeable and they will know your state-specific laws, so you can have confidence in their ability to provide you with up-to-date and accurate information for your inquiries. Compliance resources are very important in running an organization. Regardless of the industry that you're in, remaining compliant is something that's essential. With our portal, you'll have access to numerous compliance-related tools to assist you in making sure that your business remains necessary items available to do so. Some of these tools include the free federal and state compliance poster tool. There you will be able to easily download and print both federal and state posters. If you're unsure as to what federal or state posters you do need to download and provide or post within your organization, there's actually a compliance poster tool that shows you which ones there are based off of your size and industry. And so then you can easily download those PDF documents, print them off, and post them wherever you guys see fit within your buildings. There's also the Federal Poster Advisor, which I just touched on, FMLA Advisor, and one of the things that I like the best about this compliance section is the multi-state laws comparison tool. Say you have an operation that encompasses multiple states. Rather than going out and searching for each individual state law that's applicable to a certain content or subject matter, or searching the federal laws as well, this intuitive map will allow you to click on the various states that you operate in. It'll also then you can add as many of the topic related laws that you would like for it to put a comparison chart together for. And then ultimately it puts a comparison chart together for you so that you can scroll down by topic matter or subject matter and see how the various states respond to that law, as well as federal law as well. Very convenient tool, a very time-saving tool, etc. Some of the other notices that we also have available that aren't depicted on this slide are COBRA Notice Generator, the Compliance Notice Builder, which is meant to keep you up to speed with the key federal compliance deadlines associated with the health plans you provide to your employees, as well as the health plan compliance calendar, which you can use to track key federal deadlines and access information and resources that will help you ensure compliance as it relates to those items. The final thing I'll mention on this is the web accessibility tool. So for those that have websites, etc., this tool helps evaluate your current website and then speaks to the authors of that website to make sure that their content is more accessible to individuals with disabilities. The Employee Handbook Builder is the next tool that's within the portal. Whether you are replacing an outdated employee handbook or creating a new one, this is very intuitive. As you can see, I've created my own handbook here as an example. It takes you through a series of quick questions as it relates to your organization, class of business industry that you serve, number of employees, where you are located, etc. And it'll put together a free handbook for your organization that you can then disperse within. The thing that I like about it is that there's also an acknowledgement page in there, so that way you can have your employees acknowledge that they've received it and sign off on it, and then you're able to put that into that specific employee's file. The OSHA tool. This is a powerful tool, in my opinion, for those that have OSHA-related requirements, reporting requirements, that is. You'll see the various icons here straight up exactly the same way on the Platinum portal. And within the portal, you'll be able to either record an incident, you'll be able to print your forms, so your 300s, your 300As, your 301s. You'll be able to generate those reports electronically. And from that generate e-report section, you'll also be able to upload those directly to OSHA's website. What I think is the really neat feature of these this part of the portal is the Ask Incident Advisor. So say an incident occurs that you're not sure whether or not you need to record it or not. This Ask Incident Advisor tool will take you through a short series of yes/no questions, and at the end of those series of yes/no questions, it'll tell you whether yes, you do need to, or no, you don't need to record the incident. And then right from there, you can go into recording the incident as well, real time. The incident analysis tool is a powerful tool once you have some incidents that are recorded. So say again, my example of potentially you're a multi-state operation or multi-location operation, or even if you're just a single location operation that has multiple departments or multiple job descriptions or duties among your employee base. This incident analysis will provide you with feedback and data as it relates to your recorded incidents on maybe uncovering or exposing a trend of nature of injuries, et cetera, or maybe exposing a trend of incidents that happen at a specific location or within a specific department. All of those can be analyzed and then implement things to help reduce or solve or alleviate those problems from reoccurring. And some of that can be done through the learning management system that we'll talk about here momentarily, through training videos, et cetera. But I think it's really nice that once you are recording incidents, you're able to have some feedback or have some data that shows maybe areas of improvement or things that you can do to implement to help make your organization better. So learning management system, as mentioned just previously, this is on the right-hand side of your screen, the actual dashboard that you'll have access to. The learning management system consists of more than 150 on-demand training courses with various topics that provide videos for your employees to review, watch, and then take an assessment at the end for completion. Those training videos can be assigned by you straight out of the portal through this dashboard. You can set up different employee groups or just individual employees and push those training videos out to specific employees or employee groups. And they cover various topics such as personal protection equipment, construction safety, transportation safety, etc. I also think that it's important to mention that there's also cybersecurity training in there, OSHA compliance training, personal protective equipment, like I previously mentioned, and then powered industrial trucks and aerial lift training and certification. Regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of how many employees that you have, this is a very powerful tool to provide up-to-date training for those individuals as well as yourself within the organization. So how does this help? With a dedicated team providing year-round service with our 365-day model, alongside access to our Platinum portal and various other tools and service offerings, we're here to help you not only navigate your insurance, but also assist in other needs that you have to successfully run your organization. As I previously mentioned, having that constant contact throughout the policy term sets us up for success mutually as it relates to not only your insurance program, but then also helping solve your everyday business needs through either the Platinum portal or the utilization of any of the other services or products or value-added services that I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar. I personally want to thank you for joining today. Be on the lookout for additional webinars in the future as we'll look to roll some more out that take a deeper dive into some of the other service and products that we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. As previously stated, we want to be your partner not only for insurance, but in making your daily business operations more efficient and successful.